Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of AFCEA International, welcome to the 2024 TechNet Cyber Conference. Before we begin the program, may I please have your attention for a few brief administrative remarks. Throughout the week, questions for our speakers in this keynote space will be taken electronically. You can email or text your questions to askmetechnetcyber@gmail.com. Questions in the theater sessions and other meeting rooms will be taken via audience microphones. If you haven't already done so, please be sure to download the free TechNet Cyber mobile app supported by Aqua Security. This app will give you all of the program information right at your fingertips. Signal Magazine will be blogging throughout the week, and their reports will be available on the Signal website. If you don't have Signal bookmarked, just go to afcea.org and you'll find a link. Additionally, recordings and presentations from the week's sessions that are authorized for release will be available after the event on the AFCEA website and YouTube channel. For the first time ever, 13 TechNet Cyber sessions that qualify for continuing education will be recorded at the event and hosted post-event on an exclusive, free virtual channel. One registration is all that's needed to access the sessions. You may find information on the webinars by clicking Continuing Education under the Program tab on the conference website. AFCEA is proud to support Fisher House with donations made on behalf of our speakers and panel members. Fisher House's work with families in our military community continues to serve important needs. AFCEA is pleased to recognize 4 Inc. and IBM as supporting partners of this opening session and this morning's coffee. They are represented here today by Chad Morgan, IBM Senior Account Manager. Please join me in thanking them for their support. At this time, we invite to the stage Master Sergeant Tiara Washington, DC Air National Guard, 113th Fighter Wing, 113th Medical Group, First Sergeant. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we've watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Now please welcome to the stage DISA Chaplain Jay Chin to give an invocation for TechNet Cyber 2024.
Let us humbly bow our heads. Almighty and everlasting Creator, we come before you today with hearts filled with gratitude and minds eager to learn and innovate. As we assemble at the 2024 AFCEA TechNet Cyber Symposium, we acknowledge your presence among us and seek your guidance throughout this gathering of creative and innovative minds and ideas. Grant us the wisdom to navigate the complexities of our digital world, where technology shapes our interactions and possibilities. May this symposium be a beacon of collaboration and innovation, where ideas are shared freely and relationships are nurtured. Bless all those who have contributed to the success of this event, AFCEA and DISA leaderships, the organizers, speakers, participants, and all supporters. May their efforts bear fruit in advancing cybersecurity, technology, and defense capabilities for the greater good of our nation and the world we live. As we delve into discussions and presentations, may our minds be open and our spirits receptive to new insights and perspectives. Help us to harness our collective expertise for the betterment of society and the safeguarding of our digital infrastructure. Remember those who serve tirelessly in defense of our nations and our freedoms. Watch over them and grant them courage and protection in their noble endeavor. Lastly, O God, inspire us to use our knowledge and skills for noble purposes, striving always for integrity, responsibility, and innovation that serves our nation and all humanity. In your almighty name, we pray for a successful and enriching Symposium 2024. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. And finally, before we officially kick off TechNet Cyber 2024, we ask for your attention as we acknowledge some truly outstanding leaders, the recipients of the 2024 St. Isidor Award Gold Medallion, which recognizes those who have rendered conspicuous long-term service and significant contributions to the cyber mission. Recipients have so singularly distinguished themselves as contributors to the cyber mission that they have few peers. You can see this year's 5 winners on the screens to the sides of the stage. You may find full information on the St. Isidor Award and a list of winners in all categories by clicking Awards and then Cyber Award at the AFCEA website. Please join me in a round of applause for these great leaders. And now, please join me in welcoming to the stage Lieutenant General Susan Lawrence, United States Army retired, President and CEO, AFCEA International.
Hello. Is everybody awake? Oh my gosh, General Haugh, I don't know if you can see around the room, but it's standing room only. So thank you very much for kicking off our event here. We're so excited to have you here. And it's always my pleasure to be back here in the great city of Baltimore at one of our premier flagship events. On behalf of AFCEA, I want to officially welcome you to our annual TechNet Cyber Conference. As cyber threats continue to harm us, attack us, and our way of life, it is important that more than ever that we discuss how we are going to lead and transform the race against our adversaries and keep our partnership strong. We're extremely grateful to our AFCEA mission partners, the Armed Services, United States Cyber Command, Department of Homeland Security, Department of Defense, especially our CIO partners, DISA and Joint Force Headquarters Doden, who with them, we helped work this agenda, and I hope you find a first-class set of keynotes and panels and side theaters. We have got some extremely talented luminaries here with us this week. Now, what's the significance of June 25th? It's General Bob Skinner's birthday. Happy birthday, sir. Working together, we were able to make this event relevant and timely while fulfilling AFCEA's mission as the association for professionals in IT, cyber, intelligence, and global security communities who want to serve those who serve. For the next few days, we'll focus on the conference theme, Outpacing the Threat, Align, Adapt, Accelerate. The harnessing of the right cyber power is more important than ever in a domain deluged by persistent attacks and simultaneous sophisticated campaigns that threaten global political, economic, and security interests. A modern military runs on its software and is becoming more and more important as we turn towards software-driven solutions, and we're going to focus on that as a center of gravity for the whole of government effort to bring together the policy, the strategy, and architecture, as well as the operations and the command and control and the execution, along with joint capabilities needed to meet the global security challenges and successfully operate in a digital environment. Just as important, the Defense Department and military services collaborate with one another, and with my many decades of service with industry and now with the AFCEA team, I am seeing more and more critical collaboration, not only within our armed forces, but with our allies and our partners as well. And as Jennifer Swanson told the audience at AFCEA Belvoir Chapter Industry Day, nobody's doing this alone, and everybody wants to be able to leverage what other people are doing. So thank you. We're working on the reciprocity and harder than we ever have. So we are really excited about that. One of your membership benefits is a subscription to the Signal magazine, and you can pick up the June issue in the registration lobby at the AFCEA booth, where you can also learn more about the importance of AFCEA membership and what you can get from our organization. So that's my minute of marketing there. This is an amazing article. Publication, and if you haven't looked at it, I get notes all the time that says, I've read it cover to cover. The authors in there, the topics that we talk about, we hope you find relevant. So please, if you're not an AFCEA member, join and make sure you get the Signal magazine. But the one that I'm more proud of is what we've started called the Signal Kids, that comes out quarterly. And this entire publication is written by kids, ages, we're Sandra, what, 11 to 14, 15? And as I told people, the hardest interview I ever done was for an 11-year-old for this magazine. She was so inquisitive. It was wonderful. So please pick up these documents. We know how important it is to get our young ones engaged in STEM at an early age. And in July, we're going to feature the winners of the 4th annual Cyber Edge Writing Contest with the theme, Revolutionizing Cyber Operations. We want to thank Mantech, whose generous sponsorship of this has allowed us to continue this contest. As the winners of the writing contest demonstrate, we must keep the cyber domain at the center of our core. And government, military, industry must work together to find the trusted solutions, providing warfighters, first responders, and others with the data that they need, know, and trust. China is described as the pacing threat, meaning it is the only country that can threaten the United States economically, technologically, politically, and militarily. But Russia and North Korea, Iran, and others also pose danger to our critical networks and infrastructures. So you can't think about cyber, and this is one of my favorite topics, is the workforce and the importance of getting our cyber workforce to the level that we need to. Obviously, quality is important, but we are so short, we've got to work on quantity and be creative as we go forward. The DoD CIO is going to host a seminar talking about nothing but the cyber workforce and what we're going to do. Do we have a date on that, Paul, yet? Okay, so we'll get that out to you and let you know when that is. So we continue to remain absolutely committed and strong in our STEM scholarships. Once again, we gave over $2 million in scholarships last year, as well as teachers grants, and we will continue to do that and raise that amount as we go forward. And I can never get off the stage without thanking our industry partners here. You are why we are here. You are critical for us to work with you and to make sure we're winning the transformation war against our adversaries. We need you for that. And so again, I want to thank you. There's over almost 300 exhibitors here, supporting partners, and we appreciate all that you do for us. So the AFCEA team thanks all of you for joining us, and we hope that you have a successful week in Baltimore. Should you need any assistance during the week, text me, go by our AFCEA booth, go up to our ops office in room 327, and let us know what we can do to support you. Again, thank you very much and welcome. And now it is my privilege and honor to introduce this morning's keynote speaker, General Timothy Haugh, Commander, United States Cyber Command, Director, National Security Agency, and Chief Central Security Services. General Haugh assumed his present duties in February 2024 after previously serving as the Deputy Commander of United States Cyber Command from August 2022 to February 2024. He is a native of Hughesville, Pennsylvania, and a okay, you got a fan, sir. And a distinguished graduate of Lehigh University Reserve Officer Training Corps program. Over his career, he has commanded at the squadron, group, wing, numbered Air Force, and joint levels. He served on staffs in major command agencies and combatant command headquarters. His notable tours include Deputy Command of Joint Task Force Ares, Commander of Cyber National Mission Force, and Commander of the 16th Air Force, where I had the privilege and honor to meet General Haugh. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a warm welcome to General Haugh to the stage. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, everyone, to AFCEA TechNet Cyber 2024. I am pleased to have this opportunity to be here today. Thank you to Susan for the introduction. As I look at the agenda for the next few days, the audience in front of me, and the theme of outpacing our threat, an observation. This reinforces the value that AFCEA contributes to strategic dialogue, building the vital networks between industry and the Department of Defense, and educating a diverse community that spans the spectrum of partnerships. In 2024, TechNet Cyber is once again not to be missed. It's an event for those that wish to highlight our most significant challenges and work collectively to develop our way ahead. A year ago, General Nakasone delivered your keynote, and he emphasized the importance of partnerships and the urgency of action. I will double down on that today. And I'm going to thank the DoD Chief Information Officer and his team for their participation in this terrific event. U.S. Cyber Command and NSA's partnership with the CIO's office is critical to our defense of the nation and to the defense of the defense industrial base. On a personal note, I'd like to thank Mr. Sherman for his service to the department and to the nation as the Chief Information Officer of the Department of Defense. As he concludes his time at the end of this month, he can be proud of what he and his team have accomplished, and it has been a privilege to be their partner on his watch. Many thanks to Mr. Sherman. To that end, today, I want to talk about a critical element of our national strength, the defense industrial base. I want to discuss with you the strategic threat to the defense industrial base, why the DIB is critical, how an aligned U.S. Cyber Command NSA team is protecting it, and lastly, how we are adapting to these challenges. Defending the DIB preserves our ability to develop warfighting capabilities, support deterrence, and sustain global power projection. The strategic environment today poses unprecedented challenges and offers unprecedented opportunities. I want to highlight for you three aspects of the environment that have ramifications for the defense industrial base. First, the competitive challenge and threat that the People's Republic of China poses. Second, accelerating technological change that is expanding the art of the possible, both for us and for our adversaries. Third, the growing number of state and non-state entities utilizing this technological innovation, who are causing consequential effects with global impact. More specifically, the defense industrial base is being actively targeted by our adversaries and competitors, particularly by the People's Republic of China. They are acting with increasing agility and sophistication, which we must continue to outpace. Here are some examples of what we're seeing. The PRC is engaged in a deliberate and sustained campaign to challenge the United States and our allies technologically while holding our critical systems and national infrastructure at risk, posing a threat to our defense industrial base. The PRC is seeking manufacturing dominance. Here are some facts about from the DIB cybersecurity strategy. China owns 7 of the 10 busiest ports in the world. The second largest shipping fleet in the world, produces 96% of the world's shipping containers, and produces more than 80% of the world's ship-to-shore cranes. The PRC is engaging thousands of intelligence, military, and commercial personnel to steal intellectual property, threaten the DIB, and gain critical footholds in critical infrastructure. Adversaries are operating with greater scope, scale, and sophistication. They are using vulnerabilities for advantage, and they are weaponizing them in campaigns of espionage, sabotage, theft, and disruption targeting the DIB. The potential strategic impact is clear: influencing markets and trade, stealing intellectual property, and disrupting supply chains of the defense industrial base, with the potential to critically impact DoD's ability to defend the nation. However, let me say this: we have to be clear-eyed about the threat, clear-eyed about their capabilities and intent, but also clear-eyed about our own efforts, advantages, and capabilities that are significant, and which keep our competitors and adversaries on their heels. We are working to counter adversaries targeting our networks, and with partners in identifying and countering malicious cyber actors targeting their networks. We are exposing and sharing information, and our wide-ranging collaboration with industry, academia, interagency, and allies is delivering a unity of effort to these threats that steadily enhances our warfighting posture and national defense. Defending the defense industrial base against malicious cyber actors is essential to the joint force and the defense of the nation. It requires unity of action across the DoD and with private sector partners across the DIB. There are 2 recent DoD strategies that address the defense industrial base. In January 2024, the National Defense Industrial Strategy was released. And following on in March, the Defense Industrial Base Cybersecurity Strategy was released. These 2 strategies, released within a few months of each other, drive home the criticality of our defense industrial base. Here's a snapshot from the DoD cybersecurity strategy. The DIB is one of 16 critical infrastructure segments determined by presidential directive, along with financial services, transportation, and water, among others. Over 160,000 domestic and foreign companies, many small businesses, and suppliers employing 1.1 million member workforce, which is 9% of the US workforce. The market cap for the 10 largest DoD suppliers amounts to over $743 billion. The DIB also encompasses non-private and public entities such as university and government-affiliated research centers, DoD labs, and test facilities. The DIB is wide-ranging in its span of industry segments and the network and systems that require defending. Collectively, its scope enables our capabilities across the warfighting spectrum and includes our global mobility capabilities. Lastly, the DIB is a global footprint of US power with the added challenge of integrated foreign entities that are elements and consequential parts of our defense industrial base. We realize that cybersecurity is not the top priority for many of the companies within the defense industrial base. It's just not their primary focus. These companies and entities focus on manufacturing, innovating, and developing the tools that win this country's wars. This is where our partnership adds value. The DIB must enhance its cybersecurity, and the Cyber Command and NSA team are willing and eager partners to assist you. This is Cyber Command and NSA's opportunity to be a partner, and the DIB is our priority industry partner. The DIB is a foundational element of our military capability. It is critical to innovation, a deep reservoir of talent, and sustains our combat power. So we know the threat. We know the DIB is a decisive advantage. How do we outpace the threat? The Cyber Command and NSA team is demonstrating its value in the defense of the defense industrial base. The unity of effort is engaging our adversaries on a daily basis, and we are shaping the domain in both defending against and innovating with technology. As the commander of US Cyber Command, I'm responsible for US military operations in cyberspace. We secure the Department of Defense's information networks and work with partners at home and around the world in support of US national security interests. As the director of the National Security Agency, I lead the largest agency in the intelligence community. We conduct signals intelligence and cybersecurity in support of the nation's strategic requirements. Performing our mission is our talented workforce, people with skills and creativity who are grappling with our most challenging problems, modernizing the ways the command and agency respond to aggressive and determined adversaries. US Cyber Command and the National Security Agency play key roles in our national defense. But when this dual hat performs with a unity of effort, we achieve outcomes for our nation that no one else can. This includes defending our partners within the defense industrial base. The Cyber Command and NSA unity of effort and emphasis on partnerships has enabled outcomes that have allowed us to align, adapt, and accelerate the defense of the defense industrial base. I mentioned in my opening that I wanted to emphasize the importance of partnerships. These are critical in defense of the DIB. US Cyber Command and NSA are willing and eager partners, working with DoD and interagency partners such as the CIO, with CISA, FBI, and the Commerce Department. We must identify where partnerships allow for information sharing, communication, rapid vulnerability identification, and remediation, and set the stage for the development of venues and platforms to perform the security outcomes, to produce the security outcomes that disrupt and deny our adversaries' advantage. US Cyber Command has a unique power to convene. We can bring partners together and foster collaboration. This develops trust, shares information, and improves communication while solving some of our most difficult problems. US Cyber Command and NSA have expanded collaboration with interagency and international partners, across government, with law enforcement, and the private sector. This collaboration is improving our collective cybersecurity. It entails timelier sharing of information on threats and vulnerabilities, and enables working collaboratively, leveraging our different responsibilities and authorities to interrupt, and counter malicious cyber activities, close vulnerabilities, and mitigate the capabilities being employed against us. It allows us to anticipate and lessen the effectiveness of cyber exploits, expose adversary cyber actors and activities, and recruit cooperation in countering them. As a result, adversary cyber ecosystems and revenue generation have been disrupted. Malicious cyber operations are less effective and present greater risk of discovery, and there have been legal, criminal, and financial consequences. Our collaboration is increasing the costs to malicious cyber actors. U.S. Cyber Command has been delegated the authority to enter into arrangements with private sector entities to share threat information. One such industry collaboration occurs through an effort called Under Advisement. With Under Advisement, U.S. Cyber Command maintains ongoing relationships with cybersecurity firms, researchers, and individuals across the cyber ecosystem and the defense industrial base. By exchanging information and working collaboratively, the command works proactively to address and counter threats. NSA's Cybersecurity Collaboration Center allows us to work side by side with over 1,000 public and private partners to identify foreign intelligence efforts to acquire sensitive proprietary technologies. We share non-public, DIB-specific threat intelligence to help prevent, detect, and mitigate malicious cyber activity. This is a secure collaboration that allows DIB network defenders to submit questions and feedback on findings related to the threat intelligence NSA shares directly back to the analysts. Here are more data points. Since 2021, researchers have identified over 20,000 distinct cybersecurity vulnerabilities each year, with 29,000 discovered last year. To be effective in such an environment requires broad collaboration. The Cyber Collaboration Center has hosted briefings with DIB CISOs and released unclassified bulletins to provide context to the magnitude of these threats. U.S. Cyber Command, NSA, FBI, Five Eye, and other partners have released dozens of co-authored unclassified cybersecurity advisories to the public detailing adversary attack vectors and the vulnerabilities they exploit, as well as mitigations to neutralize them. These are not only examples of disrupting our adversaries' efforts and techniques, they also reinforce the value of partnerships and create forums for information sharing and collaboration. These efforts are maturing resiliency across the DIB. Exploits, attacks, and access are going to occur. What we want to develop is a resiliency that is anticipatory, adaptive, and rapid. Defense is not static, it is dynamic. And resiliency is not a defined end state, but rather constantly being shaped based on intelligence, technology, and our depth of talent. Resiliency is just as critical to outpacing as defense. Keeping in mind the conference theme, I want to just talk briefly about how we can accelerate the impact of all these efforts with emerging technology. Speed and agility are key, not only in operations, but in capability development and acquisition. We must challenge legacy approaches and move toward rapid innovation to prevail. We cannot succeed when our existing processes move slower than the rate of innovation and change. Today, a nation's fate is less a result of what it controls and more a result of how rapidly it adapts. It used to be that DoD generated the IT waves to ride. Now it's more about recognizing and riding waves we don't generate and can't control. The advantage will go to those best able to recognize first, adapt first, and apply first. One area where this is especially true in the current environment is with artificial intelligence, specifically AI's application and utility in cybersecurity. At Cyber Command and NSA, we have two lenses when we talk AI: cybersecurity for AI and AI for cybersecurity. We must learn how to protect our nation's competitive advantage in AI from foreign cyber attacks and to quickly operationalize the means to do so. while also exploring how we can leverage AI to enhance the full spectrum of our cybersecurity capabilities. To further these goals, in 2023, the NSA established the AI Security Center to protect against threats to AI implemented within national security systems and the defense industrial base, as well as threats from adversary-employed AI. The AI Security Center will detect and counter threats, drive and deepen partnerships, and develop, evaluate, and promote best practices. We have established an AI task force within U.S. Cyber Command to move us from opportunistic AI application to systemic adoption, driven by strategic and tactical objectives that will focus on 3 important outcome thrusts. First, we are partnering closely with the service cyber components and our AI task force. We are focused on delivering AI capability for the cyber mission force operations and are taking steps to integrate our AI task force even more closely with operations. Second, we are posturing U.S. Cyber Command to enable AI adoption at scale by addressing many of the non-material issues, like policy and standards, that will be required to allow responsible, ethical, assured, and secure application of AI. Finally, our no-fail mission means that we are laser-focused to counter AI threats and exploiting emerging opportunities. U.S. Cyber Command was recently designated a federal laboratory, which will enhance our capacity to drive innovation, collaborate with academia and industry leaders, and contribute significantly to advancements in the development of cyber technologies and AI. With the federal laboratory designation comes our authorization for technology transfer. This facilitates technical exchanges and enhances our public-private convergence in ways that will include the defense industrial base. Outpacing threats means securing and defending the defense industrial base. The dual-hat team of U.S. Cyber Command and NSA are doing this through partnerships, information sharing, and innovation. We must remain clear-eyed to the threat by continuing to building on our advantages and diminishing the advantages of our adversaries. We aim to expand our unity of action while developing a resiliency that is anticipatory, dynamic, and adaptive. I want to leave you with a reminder that people are our enduring advantage. None of what I have talked about is possible without our talented workforce. Leadership is a force multiplier, and to outpace, we have to maximize the talent from our broad array of partners and recruit and retain our own talent. This morning, AFCEA is going to present 5 gold awards to 5 extraordinary leaders: Lieutenant General Maria Barrett, Major General Paul Stanton, Brigadier General Paul Kraft, Colonel Benjamin Sangster, and Colonel Mickey Jordan. I am honored to have served with each of them, and I congratulate them all on their many decades of accomplishments and service. They are examples of what I mean when I talk about our people being an enduring advantage. They are being awarded as individuals, but their awards represent the hard work and efforts of our thousands of our nation's finest. Their families have served across the globe. They ultimately will ensure the defense of our nation. Our talent transcends any technological advantage. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have a couple of questions from the audience. First, can you please describe what you are seeing in terms of increased Chinese cyber activity aimed at U.S. partners and allies in the Pacific?
So I think the most concerning area that we have seen in terms of increased activity as related to the actor that we identified as Volt Typhoon, which is a specific People's Republic of China cyber actor that has targeted primarily critical infrastructure. And so if you go today to the nsa.gov website, you'll see a series of cybersecurity advisories that lay out the techniques that are used by this actor, that break down a series of techniques that we have described as living off the land. And in this case, living off the land largely has used vulnerabilities that are in systems to be able to gain initial access. But then they use the tools and techniques that are available on whatever system they've compromised to establish access. Our concern has been that these targeted operations have gone at critical infrastructure and have been viewed as holding that critical infrastructure at risk. So that's a serious concern, not just to the United States, but also to our allies. We'll continue to expose these threats because this is a perfect example of where the more eyes that we place on the techniques also allow us to develop countermeasures, think about how we censor and monitor, how we use data collaboratively, how we share analytic insights between industry, academia, and government, and allowing us to then be able to make these techniques less usable by our adversaries and make ourselves more secure.
Thank you, sir. We have one more question. Can you please speak to how government is balancing the need to ensure that the DIB is secure without ensuring the barriers entry for small businesses aren't too high or that compliance is not too prohibitive?
So I think this is a balancing act. And this is an area that the DoD CIO team has been really trying to find the sweet spot, which is what is the floor that's required to be able to take government contracts from a cybersecurity perspective, and to ensure that if the department is going to invest in innovative technology with a small company, how do we ensure that that technology would not immediately be available to an adversary that has an intent to steal that intellectual property? So we've got to set the floor. I think the department has been working to also look at what are the ways that if we find that innovative technology in a small company, what are the processes and steps that would allow the department to be able to assist in creating a pathway to entry for those small companies. This is certainly an area that the Deputy Secretary of Defense has been focused on, which is how do we expand the opportunity for those small companies, but also provide a pathway that does open the doors to both our complicated acquisition process, but also to potential cybersecurity support. And that's an area that I think from our perspective, if you would have looked back 2 years ago, or now 3 years ago to the establishment of the Cyber Collaboration Center, and the idea that the National Security Agency would be offering cybersecurity services to industry funded by the department is a pretty radical change. And I think those are the types of things we've got to keep working our way through. Forums like this also have the opportunity to challenge us. What are the areas where we may perceive that we're providing a pathway, but we're actually still providing some barriers? This is an opportunity for you to give us feedback, to be able to tell us what's working, which are the things that if we focus on would have the biggest effect to allow small business greater entry, either with larger defense contractors or directly with the government.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was our final question for General Haugh. Please welcome General Lawrence back to the stage.
As General Lawrence comes back to the stage, I do have to do a special shout out to Tom Holacek, a fellow graduate from 1987 Hughesville High School. Not often that Sherry and I have a fellow Hughesville High graduate in attendance. Welcome, Tom.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. Sir, what a great kickoff to this week. I'm so excited again that you were able to join us. We know how crazy busy you are, so your commitment to this audience is very much appreciated. So in lieu of a speaking gift from AFCEA, we're going to do a donation in your name to the Fisher House. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, great start. This concludes the opening keynote session. You can see the brief summary of the upcoming schedule on the screens at the side of the stage, and full details are available on your TechNet Cyber app. For those of you that have lunch tickets, we're doing something a little bit differently this year. We want to be able to spend time with our industry partners. We want to network. And so we will be serving a buffet style in the back of the exhibit hall starting at 11:30. We'll keep it open for 2 hours so that you can network and eat at your leisure. So anytime between 11:30 and 1:30, please enjoy lunch. Thank you again for joining us this morning, and we appreciate and want to recognize Sienna and Lumen for the lunch today. So thank you very much, team. We appreciate it. Please enjoy your time. Thank you.